Hey, what's up everybody? Mike Leslie for Lovey's Fat Life, and today we're going to fix kind of a spin on Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani's recipe at the Ole Red Restaurant in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. There are actually several of them throughout the U.S. and the world. But we're going to turn around and make redneck nachos. Redneck nachos. So what we're going to do, instead of using smoked chicken, we're going to use leftover pulled pork. Back here in the Rec Tech, we've got our beer cheese that's going to melt and mix that thing up, and then we got our pulled pork heating back up. We just did 2 Boston butts yesterday, so you're seeing the leftovers of that. So we're trying to show you guys what to do, something a little bit different, a little bit hack on the redneck nachos from Blake Shelton. We're using pulled pork instead of smoked chicken. Thank you guys. Like and subscribe. Lovey's Fat Life, the fat food and travel. Lovey's my nickname. We do smoking reviews, smoke some meat. We also do restaurant reviews, and we love to travel land or sea. Thank you guys. Have a great one. All right, so what all do we need for these redneck nacho hack? You gotta have some pulled pork. This is leftover from a previous cook. We have some spicy brown mustard. We got some milk. You got some Velveeta cheese. You got some beer. You got shredded cheese. You got garlic powder, onion powder. You got some Cape Cod kettle chips or whatever brand you want to use. Rotel, banana peppers, and some jalapenos. Also, my wife made homemade guacamole as well. That is not pictured. Hey, just a heads up, we did take the cleaver to this pulled pork and chopped it up a little bit so that when we add it on top of the kettle chips, it would be easier to eat. All right, so at the end of this video, I'm going to have the recipe on a PowerPoint slide for you. So don't worry about that. All the measurements and everything, we'll have it at the end. But right here, we're just taking that 1 pound of Velveeta cheese and slicing it up and cubing it and putting it in the pan. All right, so here we're going to use a half a cup of your favorite beer. Half a cup of your favorite beer. All right, so here we're using a half a cup of milk. Here we're using a can of Rotel, and you can go up to a half, whatever your preference is. And then we want a teaspoon of garlic powder and also a teaspoon of onion powder. Now we're going to add some spicy brown mustard. So just whatever your liking is on this, I just squeeze out a little bit. It's probably maybe 2 teaspoons overall, 3 at the most. Hey, last thing we're adding on this beer cheese is a handful, which is about a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. All right, so we've hit 225. I'm gonna put the pulled pork on here, just heating it up. And then we got the beer cheese concoction here that we're gonna be stirring as we go along. So let's heat these up and then we'll pour them on the chips. Really simple recipe for leftover pulled pork. It's about 15 minutes. All right, this is after 30 minutes smoking on here and heating up the pulled pork. I think the cheese is done now. We'll let it sit for a little while and let it thicken back up. But I think it looks mixed pretty well. Then we got pulled pork here. I added just a tad of beer to that, left over from the beer I put in the beer cheese, just to add a little moisture to it so it wouldn't dry out. And also put the aluminum foil on top. So let's take this in here and let's put this thing together. All right, let's go ahead and build this redneck nacho pan. This is a 1/4 of a pan, aluminum pan I got at Sam's Club. We put some beer cheese down first so that the chips don't slide all over the place. And then we use some Cape Cod kettle chips. You can use whatever brand you want to. You can use nachos. And then we take this beer cheese, which you can adjust that spiciness of your beer cheese by the Rotel and also by adding some jalapeno juice to it. But we sprinkle the beer cheese all over these kettle chips next. And we're going to build this thing up from the bottom up. Next thing we do is we take some of the leftover pulled pork that we had. I added just a tad of beer to the pulled pork and then put aluminum on top of it as it warmed up just so it wouldn't dry out. So we're building that layer of pulled pork right now. It's got a great smoke taste to it. And next we're getting ready to add some more cheese back on top of this because we had a pretty big pan of cheese. And I'm going to do a video also on just the beer cheese only, but it's in this video as well. So we got a layer of pork and then another layer of beer cheese, and now we're adding some jalapenos. So if you don't like jalapenos or too hot for you, you can put it on half of it. If some people like it, some people don't. Or you can take these out altogether. Next, we're going to add some banana pepper. So we're giving this thing a lot of color. So you can also put some Rotel back on top of it if you wanted to as well to give it some color with red. Then we take some sour cream and just kind of put it all over a little bit on the top. Then we're going to top this off finally with some guacamole that my wife made homemade. I don't have that recipe in here. Maybe we'll do one later on for it. And then my homemade barbecue sauce that I make, which is a Carolina barbecue sauce. You can use like, any over-the-counter, grocery store brand that you wanted to with it. So how do these things finally turn out? These leftover pulled pork that we had from smoking 2 Boston butts. Man, these things turned out absolutely awesome. Our family is definitely going to be doing these again. My son, who's getting, hit or miss on pulled pork, he loved it. He loved it, the fact that I chopped it up a little finer so it was easier for him to eat. The kettle chips on here, followed by the beer cheese, and then the pulled pork, and then the beer cheese again added on top of that. And then you had the homemade guacamole, the sour cream, the jalapenos, the banana peppers. This turned out absolutely incredible. It was awesome. We'll definitely do this every time we have pulled pork left over. Again, this is a hack on Blake Shelton's Redneck Nachos at his restaurant. In his restaurants, he uses smoked chicken, and I'm sure that would be awesome as well because I've had theirs at the restaurant and it was incredible. But try this out next time you have some leftover pulled pork. I don't think you would be disappointed with this. You can use some Sweet Baby Ray's or your own whatever barbecue sauce you want to on it as well. Again, you can adjust the heat on this based off the jalapenos, jalapeno juice, or the Rotel. But again, try this one out. This is definitely going to be a family favorite. And I'm getting ready to throw up the recipe right here, and then that'll be it. Thank you guys for checking this out. All right, so here is the recipe for these redneck nachos. You're going to need some kettle chips. You're going to need your barbecue sauce, your favorite kind. You're going to need beer cheese, which I have the ingredients needed to make that. Over to the right, we have jalapenos, banana peppers, pulled pork, your leftover pulled pork. You could use chicken with that as well. You're going to have some guacamole, and you're going to need some sour cream. The guacamole and sour cream is dependent if you like it or not. On the beer cheese, you're going to need 1 pound of Velveeta cheese, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, some spicy mustard, half a can of Rotel, a half a cup of your favorite beer, a half a cup of milk, and 1 cup of shredded cheese. You're going to mix this all together on your smoker or on your stovetop at a low temp on the smoker for about 225 for about 30 to 40 minutes. Should get it done. I hope you guys like this. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Lovey's Fat Life. We like smoking meat, restaurant reviews, and then we also like traveling land or sea, any which way we can get out there. Thank you guys. Here's a few playlists. Please like and subscribe to our channel if you like what we're doing. Thank you.